Welcome back to another video of exploring the world of science. Today we will explore the impacts of smog on the environment, communities, individual health, technology, economy, and government. We are Ava, Samaya, and Faith.
Firstly, what is smog? The term is a combination of the words smoke and fog. Smog is a harmful combination of gases and particles that frequently form a hazy appearance in the air.
It consists of nitrogen oxides, sulfur oxide, ozone, smoke, and other tiny particles. Man-made smog originates from emissions produced by burning coal, vehicles, industries, forest and agricultural fires, as well as chemical reactions involving these emissions. Let's begin with the environment. As mentioned, a large portion of smog is made of ozone, O3. Ozone is a gas that can enter a plant through the stomata, which are small openings on plant leaves. Once inside the leaf, ozone can cause damage that leads to issues with photosynthesis and respiration. The Government of Ontario explains that ozone exposure can result in visible symptoms such as leaves turning yellow, necrosis, and stunted growth. It can also weaken the plant's immune system, making it more susceptible to diseases, pests, and other environmental stressors like heat, cold, and drought. What makes this worse is that environmental stressors like drought are also being affected by smog. When smog collects in the atmosphere, it begins to block out a lot of light and heat from the sun. According to the World Resources Institute, this lack of sunlight alters the water cycle as it changes the rate at which evaporation of water occurs, as well as the formation and capacity of clouds. In places such as South Asia and North America, there have been an increase in droughts, while China has had severe floods. Smog also has the ability to harm all kinds of wildlife in affected areas through different ways. Birds are particularly vulnerable to the effects of smog as they not only have weak respiratory systems but also fly and live up high where the smog is most present. Land animals are also not safe, as when plants that have been exposed to too much ozone begin to die out, it results in a lack of food for herbivores. At the same time, a lot of toxins in smog are being stored in plants, and when they are eaten, they become stored in the herbivores' tissues. Predator animals will then eat these herbivores, which creates a large concentration of these toxins, which poisons the predator. The Government of Canada explains that this poisoning results in the disruption of endocrine function, organ injury, increased vulnerability to stresses and diseases, lower reproductive success, and possible death. All of these things can lead to completely destroying an ecosystem by killing off important animals that can lead to an unhealthy rise or fall in other species connected to it.
Our next topic is communities. Smog can have large effects on communities and the everyday lives of people. One of the most affected areas in the world is Delhi, India. The air quality in Delhi is the worst of any major city in the world, according to a WHO survey of 1,650 world cities. Air pollution in Delhi is attributed to motor vehicles, power stations, cooling towers, landfills, and more. The air pollution results in around 2 million deaths every year in India, making it India's fifth largest killer. Communities in urban areas such as New Delhi are heavily affected after Diwali, an important Hindu celebration with fireworks, which pollutes the air farther. People describe having difficulty breathing even indoors and sleeping. And air pollution levels are high enough to affect even healthy individuals. A survey done shows that 4 out of 5 families in Delhi reported having health problems related to air pollution. The children in Delhi are highly affected by the smog. Air pollution irreversibly damages the lungs of 50% of the children. Many children have damaged lungs, poor immune systems, and increased risk of cancer, epilepsy, diabetes, and more. Delhi officials ordered to temporarily close primary schools and reduce outdoor activities in November 2022. It is currently recommended in Delhi that one should wear a mask when outdoors. Our next topic is health effects. Some of the most pressing short-term effects of smog are the effects on human health. A dangerous component of smog is ozone, which is 3 oxygen molecules bonded together. Ozone reacts with the molecules in the lining of the lung airways. These chemical bonds break and rebuild differently with oxygens from the oxidation. This causes inflammation in the airways. The ability of our lungs to act as a barrier for microbes, toxic chemicals, and allergens deteriorates. The body reacts by covering affected areas with fluid and contracting muscles. Ozone causes airway muscles to constrict, which traps air in the alveoli. This can cause wheezing and shortness of breath. Ground-level ozone is known to cause chest pain, coughing, throat irritation, congestion, difficulty breathing deeply, and susceptibility to lung infection and inflame the lining of the lungs. Ozone can permanently scar lung tissue from long-term exposure and can also worsen bronchitis, emphysema, and asthma. Because of this, ozone has increased admissions to hospitals, asthma-related hospital admissions, and premature death. The people most predisposed to health effects from ozone are people with asthma or other lung diseases, the elderly, people working or exercising outside, and babies and children. According to a CHEST article by Stephanie Holm and John Baums, even at low levels, well below the current EPA standard, children's lung function may be affected adversely by ozone exposure, particularly over longer periods.
Let's look at the government. Regarding smog, governments have different plans in effect in order to deal with it. The Canadian government, for example, has different funds that push towards reducing air pollution. A couple are the Active Transportation Fund and the Zero Emission Transit Fund. These work towards transportation that uses human activity or uses a different energy other than fossil fuels, such as biking or electric vehicles. These help reduce air pollution as they are more environmentally friendly. There is also Canada's methane strategy. Methane is a strong greenhouse gas that contributes much to global warming, and this strategy is in place to reduce Canada's emissions that come from oil, gas, agriculture, and landfills. Another thing in place is the Environmental Protection Act that contains specific rules for businesses so that they meet the standard for air quality. Now, let's look at the economy. This issue negatively affects the economy in many different ways. It reduces the amount of tourism because people are likely to stay away from polluted areas. It also reduces the productivity of a business. Looking at Asia, according to the UN Environment Program, 6.5 million people die annually from exposure to poor air quality. 70% of air pollution-related death occurs in Asia Pacific. An increase in sickness means a decrease in the productivity of a business. There is also an impact agriculturally as it causes a decrease in the amount of food produced and in the quality of the crops. Animals are also affected as their health is also impacted. This reduces the amount of food available, which can increase the price of food. Let's look at the impact of technology. It plays both a negative and positive role in regards to smog. Technology is both partly responsible for air pollution and also part of the solution. Industries pollute the air with vehicles, power stations, burning of fossil fuels, factories, and excessive agriculture. The mass production of things has meant more pollution from different industries, which contributes to smog. However, technology, a greener kind, is part of the solution. Renewable energy sources, catalytic converters, and electric vehicles are some examples of technologies that can help. Renewable energy comes from natural sources, such as water, sunlight, and wind. This energy doesn't burn fossil fuels, making it better for the environment. Catalytic converters work to convert the dangerous pollutants that come from vehicles into pollutants that are less harmful. While not fully fixing the problem, it still helps as vehicles that use gas are still around. An example of what it converts is carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide. In regards to vehicles, electric vehicles are better than gas vehicles as they don't burn fossil fuels. According to Perch Energy, one more technology is called smog-eating technology. This allows for smog to be chemically broken down. It uses titanium dioxide, and it causes nitrogen oxides to decompose with the help of sunlight, which is seen as eating the smog. This titanium dioxide can be used in construction materials. Now, let's look at a related career in chemistry. There are many careers in chemistry related to the environment. One that is related to this topic is an air quality engineer. In 2022, the median salary for air quality engineers was $81,300 per year. As a type of environmental engineer, a bachelor's degree is needed as it provides the necessary knowledge in science, math, and engineering. Their job includes taking samples and analyzing them chemically. Air quality engineers can also work together with architects in order to make sure that the air quality of a building is proper for construction. This job may also include monitoring the emissions of companies for the government in order to make sure that they were following environmental regulations.
That concludes our video on smog and air pollution. Hopefully you learned something new about smog and chemistry. Thanks for watching!